Yeah. As far as I know, unless she's unexpectedly ill, you know, but as far as I know, she's supposed to be here tomorrow. I will be in Council Bluffs tomorrow.
No.
I move around.
Why would you want to go there? It's terrible.
California?
Yeah.
It's on fire
on
right
fire.
now.
Oh. I've
Now's kind of a bad time to go to California, but
Yeah.
I've been there a couple of times.
I live there.
Also, because of the coronavirus, apparently, if you steal anything under $1,000, the cops won't even show up.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, bro.
Austin's
Been a while.
back.
I ain't seen him since like last year. I had to get him some snacks.
I don't think anyone's seen me since last year.
Okay, you leave your chromies out today, and we're going one at a time to check. Oh, I see there. No, there's already one too many back there. They must not have heard my rules.
They weren't in here when you said it.
They did not hear them because they weren't in here when I said that.
I'm really bored.
I'll get you plenty to do here in just a minute. You'll have plenty to
When does
do.
the game start?
Vibin.
Maybe 4 or 5.
In the back.
There's no way it starts at 4. We have to be to a track by 4:30. No, it starts at 6. So we have to be an hour and a half early.
So do I have time to hang out after school? Bud, I'm not going there.
You gotta wait till everything comes out.
One at a time, so yeah, you can go in now. I'm getting all your
Oh my
stuff
God.
straightened around here. Hang on.
Sleep is mine, cuz.
Did you guys water?
I had to design.
Wait, what?
She said no.
You said at 5 o'clock this morning they were all damp enough already.
Yeah, but maybe that's water.
Yo.
6 hour Miller. Here we go.
Maybe that's why I like
Mm.
Probably.
Is that not supposed to? Not supposed to?
Beep, 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 beep. Ab, ab, ab.
He wasn't supposed to go away. What? Which place?
She's like, you gotta win. Put it in. It's like, what's the point of me? Wow. You're supposed to water a big plant.
I don't know.
We do that because I have the other one. Or 6.
Oh,
Oh, that was like
crap.
So all we're doing is taking more notes today?
Okay, as soon as I get everybody in the room at the same time, which hasn't happened in the 10 minutes we've already been here, because we got people kind of running around, I'll get started. But I was waiting on you guys to all get in here, so.
Oh, yeah.
And it's these guys I'm still waiting on.
We kind of will.
Yeah,
Where
we're
are the
waiting
other
on
two
you.
guys?
I'm no third, and I have to go back. Hold on, I got that.
I think they're watering the big plants. The big plants need water.
No watering today, guys. Let's go. She said specifically no water. Get in here. I've been waiting on you guys to get sat down so I can start class for 10 minutes. Nope, nobody waters nothing today.
My bad.
Not till tomorrow. She's got it all specifically in her notes. So come on in and do whatever you need to do to take some notes, because today is a note day.
Let's go.
So we'll get that done fairly quickly. It won't take very long, and we'll go from there. Thank you for all being here. Just kind of want to quickly tell you, for those of you that weren't in class earlier today, I've been gone for a year and a half because I spent the whole year teaching art, visual art pottery at Lewis Central last year. They offered me to do the whole year, so I took it, but I'm not going to do a whole year again. That's hard work.
That's a boring school.
I have to enter grades,
It's boring.
follow up. Now pottery wasn't bad because people made different things all the time, and you know, it's a hands-on, it's an art type class. That wasn't bad at all, but it just got to be every single day, a lot of obligation. And then when the Rona hit and we all went home, I had to teach pottery online.
Oh, I bet that's.
That wasn't very fun either. So kind of got past all that. So this is my first day in Glenwood High School in a year and a half. So I'm glad to be back. It's nice to see all of you today. It's kind of a good way to come back too. So now for the goals for today. Let's see here, the STEM facts presentation is linked, and I'm gonna go over that with you here right now, so it'll add terminology to your O1, C2 notes. And I'll give you a structure of a STEM packet after we get done going through the notes. And, I do have a handout for you, yes. And, then past the structure of a STEM, yeah, I have all that right here. These at home will need to think about putting together a project to showcase the growth of a plant, similar to the fast plants that are grown in this classroom. And watering of plants does not occur today. She checked them all at 5 a.m. They're fine. Only need to rotate one person at a time to collect data on germination of fast plants. No thinning plants today. She says she's going to do that tomorrow too. Many times when there's a sub in here, she doesn't want a lot of people back there because I don't know if you believe this or not, but people tend to goof around back there sometimes. I know it sounds totally cray-cray, but it does happen. So let's just go ahead and go over some notes quick. There are some terms in here that you'll probably use the rest of the try. I've subbed in here before while this has happened, so I kind of know what's going on. So if you want to take some notes, that'd probably be a really good idea. I'll go through it fairly quickly. I don't want to keep it boring for you or anything like that. However, I'm only hooked up to this computer, so I've got to be over here. I apologize. I would normally stand up front, but here's this. We have what we have, and the presentation isn't set up very well. So we're going to look at STEM facts. You could probably put that down as your header on whatever notes you're taking, whether you're doing Google Notes or whether you're taking them old-fashioned paper, pencil, pen, whatever. It's the anatomy and physiology, 4.3, stem stalks and trunks. Okay, so stems have 4 functions, and I can almost guarantee you these are going to be on a test. I can almost guarantee you that because she teaches this every single time in this plant class. So stems have 4 functions. 1, physical support. 2, they aid in translocation of nutrients, so it helps move nutrients around. And number 3, they store food reserves, keep some food stored in the stem. And lastly, it's where photosynthesis happens. And if you've been in this class very long, you should probably know what photosynthesis is. What is that?
The plant makes its own food from
Plant
the
make-
sun.
Plant makes its own food from the sun. Yes, that's absolutely correct. That's the right answer. That's exactly what I was wanting to hear. So yes, that's good. Photosynthesis. And everybody get a chance to I don't want to go too fast. And then, of course, as is always with notes, you just kind of copy down what you think is important. But I'm pretty sure I've seen her mention functions of stems many times when I've been here. This is my 10th year as a sub this year. Okay, so now I'm going to go back up to the top of the other page. Sorry, these are just kind of goofy the way it's set up. All right, slide 4. Okay, so external parts of the plant would be the buds, the nodes, external parts, buds, nodes, and the internodes, not to be confused with the internet. Internodes. Yep, same as nodes, add an inter at the beginning. So this will talk about these 3 parts and where they're located. So the buds would naturally be where your leaves start growing. It's in the spring when you see everybody says the trees are budding, yay! It means it's leaves and things that are going to come out. A bud's a little thing, but then it blooms. The nodes are the little notches on the stem where the buds start forming. And then the internodes are just the stem parts in between.
Yeah, 10.
Okay, next. Strength of stems. Rigid stems, such as woody plants and trees, derive their strength from extra thick cell walls. Herbaceous stems rely on water pressure, known as turgor. So sometimes, you know, you might be out somewhere and you knock a branch down like a milkweed or something like that. It's all water, it just falls over really easy, because all that was holding it together was water pressure. So the specific material which comprises the rigid cell walls is called hemicellulose and lignin. So probably the important stuff you need from there, rigid stems would be like trees and woody plants. And then herbaceous stems are water pressure, which is known as turgor, T-U-R-G-O-R. And rigid cell walls are made of hemicellulose and lignin. Hemicellulose. Boy, I tell you, I had a Dodge with one of those hemicelluloses in them one time. It went fast.
I have a Dodge with a Hemi in it.
Dodge hemicellulose, they rock, don't they? Hemi just means half, by the way, so. And they took that engine, they put it, half of it upside down, that's how they got a Hemi. And they've used them since Dodge first started making vehicles. And Hemis zip, they are fast.
My truck's got a Hemi in
Good way to get a ticket, though, be careful. Yeah, I
it.
had a car with a Hemi in it, and you push on the gas and you go.
Was it a Charger?
Mine was a Dodge Magnum wagon. It was fun though, I liked it. And I 0 to 60 in about 5.8 seconds, it didn't mess around. I pass semis sometimes and I know the trucker was like, that station wagon goes that fast? And I only broke the speed to pass, so I'm just for the record, just to get past something.
Speed just why
But it could have been 85 miles an hour, maybe 90. All right. So, but I'm not really a fast driver, only if I get behind somebody who's really slow. Then I drive fast. We get around it.
1969 Dodge Charger.
69 Dodge Charger. That's an old vehicle. I'll tell you, I was born in 1968, so I know that's old. It's 1 year younger than me. Okay, here we go. Going down to our next page. I think there's only 2 pages, so we're doing fine. Now your internal parts. Annual rings are located on woody plants. I'm sure you've heard about plant rings and tree rings. Every ring tells you how old that is, and there are pictures that are coming up here.
Like a wedding ring?
So woody plants have annual rings. Sometimes they have phloem. Sometimes they have pith. That's a TH, by the way. Careful how you say that. Pith. Or secondary xylem. There are some tough words here. We'll take our time. I want to make sure you get them written down properly. And all this stuff could easily be on a Mrs. Miller test.
You never know.
Pith or secondary xylem, X-Y-L-E-M. And then just plain xylem, X-Y-L-E-M.
I'm still spelling this.
Now when it says phloem and xylem comprise the vascular system, when we say vascular system in either a human or a plant, what's that mean? It's your arteries and veins, and even plants have little canals. They're probably the phloem and the xylem that get the life liquids to wherever they need to be. In our body, it pumps blood to every part of our bodies. But in plants, they have, it's not blood, but it's still essential to their life. It's very highly water-based, I'm sure, and it's phloem and xylem. So that's what they get for their vascular system. Phloem and xylem are the same as arteries and veins in humans, if that helps you remember that. Do we need more time on that slide? Are you good?
Good.
Good to go, bro? All right, here we go. Moving on. The function of xylem and phloem. Xylem, it takes water in, dissolve nutrients, and basically it moves them from the roots throughout the rest of the plant through the xylem. So nutrients go from the roots to the rest of the plant through the xylem. It's very much the same as human arteries. And now the phloem will get food. There's a difference between water nutrients, and food. And this is where you get into your photosynthesis, where the leaves actually change sunlight into food. It's kind of an amazing process. And so synthesized food, sugars, from their leaves and other regions are carried throughout the plant. So the xylem takes water and nutrients and distributes them around the plant, and the phloem takes food sugars from the leaves and sends them around the plant too. So that's why they call it a vascular system, veins and arteries that get it to the important parts for your body. And then she did the little, the plant body, I'm sorry. And she did the little note down there, if you can kind of remember that xylem means up and phloem means down, that might help you on a test. And that is a hint there that probably more than likely will be on a test. And that was the hardest thing for me, when things were very similar, one meant up and one meant down, but they were different terms. Sometimes I'd have trouble on tests with that. So, you know, maybe xylem is really close to U in the alphabet, but phloem and down, they both have O's in them. Whatever it takes to help you memorize that so you can get that right. You don't want to get that turned around. You don't just miss one, you miss two on a test if you get those turned around. Xylem and phloem. Internal parts labeled. Here we go. And this is just an example of an annual ring. And then we can kind of see the annual ring would be the rings you can see in that picture. The bark, of course, we all know what bark is. It's on the outside. Usually the farthest out part of bark is all dead. This is just old, dead of what was inside of here that's worked its way out. And then pith, or the gaps in between there. Phloem and cambium, we can't really see that. We can't see the xylem in these, but you can see the rings in that picture for sure. Excuse me. That's slide 9 or 9er. I'll accept either one. I heard a 9er in there somewhere. 49ers. Did the Cardinals beat them yesterday?
Yeah, they beat them.
You know, I kind of like Garoppolo though. I hope he does well. I like him as QB. Of course, my favorite of all time, if I mean to make it clear with you.
Oh yeah, that's right, you're a Saints fan. Didn't they win yesterday?
Yeah, they beat Brady down, and anybody beats Brady's okay with me. So, whether he's on the Bucs or
He started
Patriots.
playing bad like second half.
He didn't do as well, but you know, he's with a new team. They had a shortened
Yeah,
camp.
he's 43.
He's 42 or 3, and this is Drew Brees' 20th year though. So if you're talking old, those are the two oldest quarterbacks in the NFL played each other yesterday.
He's the oldest player to have a
They're
touchdown.
probably really slow.
Well, they don't run the
Drew
ball
Brees
a
is still
lot,
pretty fast.
but that's why we got Taysom Hill, because he'll run anywhere like a crazy man. You know what I mean?
He ran it
You know what I'm
like-
talking about?
He ran it
Number
like
7 on the
30 yards.
Saints.
The running back.
Yeah, but he's reckless. He's gonna get hurt.
He's quarterback. They just have him play every position. The
He-
Swiss Army
I
knife.
wouldn't even call him a quarterback. They do call him Swiss Army knife, because he'll play quarterback, receiver,
He's actually
running
pretty
back.
good at quarterback.
Yeah, but he's reckless, and you know what's gonna happen? He's gonna RG3 himself right out of the game. He's gonna get hurt and can't play anymore. So good. That scares me. Okay, so this is internal parts labeled. This is a little bit better, though some parts are a little more confusing. It's kind of, so the phloem or cambium seems to be on the outside edge. The xylem is more towards the inside. The pith is the very center. The annual rings are kind of obvious, and bark we already pointed out in the previous one. I think there's better illustrations, but that kind of gives you the idea. That gives you a good start in this chapter. Monocotyledon versus dicotyledon. They sound like dinosaurs, but they're not. Sounds like dinosaurs. So the arrangement of the vascular system provides evidence to distinguish between monocotyledon and dicotyledon plants. Yeah, I know, it's a little intimidating. But, you know, this is your monocotyledon. It tends to be a little bit more scattered with smaller vascular bundles and about the same amount of ground tissue though. And then epidermis, just like on humans, our skin is called our epidermis. Largest organ in the human body, by the way, skin. So epidermis is the edge, just like us. There are similarities between plants and people. Just because we're all living things on this planet. Now the dicotyledon, I'm sorry, I don't want to block you over there, Austin. The dicotyledon has more parts to it. It does, once again, epidermis is the same. Vascular bundles are kind of the same, except these are located more in a circular, almost look like candy corns on there.
It looks like a rim.
A what?
It looks like a rim.
It kind of does look like a car rim. Or I was thinking somebody laid out a bunch of guitar picks. They almost kind of look like guitar picks laid in a circle too. So, bundle cap. There are specific parts of these. Your vascular bundle is the bottom. The bundle cap is the white, the area in between. Xylem is the dark area. The phloem is the white. That one is a lot more. The dicotyledon is much more complex. And I know you have these in your slide presentation that was shared with you. So if you don't get all that copied down today, you do want to get that into your notes. Almost looks like I was thinking a fishing reel. Kind of looks like the end of a reel.
Oh yeah.
Looks a little like that too. Not that I'm much of a fisherman, but I recognize what it is. Okay. I don't see many people typing or writing. Should I go on?
Yeah.
Okay, hi.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Types of stems. We don't have very many. There's only a couple slides left. Types of stems. You have your herbaceous, and you got your herb, and then your aceous. And a lot of people don't pronounce H's. Herbaceous is probably the right way to say it, but I sometimes say herbaceous, so you know what I'm talking about. But it's I'm probably mispronouncing. But you know what I'm talking about. Modified stem, and just like in Toy Story, get yourself a Woody stem too.
Woody.
Yeah. To
There's-
Infinity Beyond, Buzz Lightyear, all that business.
There's a snake in my boot.
I got a snake in my boot.
I'm joking, bro. Yes,
Bro,
I've
you're
watched
not
Toy
joking.
Story.
You've never watched
The pizza truck, the aliens. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about.
I love me some Toy Story. All of them are good. Even some of them are a little tear jerking maybe a little bit. Okay, so first we just have these last three slides that we're done.
Buzz Lightyear.
Herbaceous or herbaceous stems. Physical support is a result of turgor or internal water pressure, and that's what turgor means. Internal water pressure. You know, I think there's a lot of plants you'll find like this. You go to knock them over and they just snap really easy. They're probably water, turgor, internal water pressure stems. They snap real easy. That looks like maybe a rhubarb or something they've got there, except the leaves aren't quite right. But that is definitely a water pressure stem. They snap off a lot easier. I think something as simple as a blade of grass would probably be that also. Water pressure stem.
Grass tastes good.
Some people say that.
Someone told me it tastes like milk.
Well, did you try it? How you don't taste good?
Well, actually, I have tried grass, but like not on purpose.
What do you mean not on purpose?
Like you ever like fell and just ate the dirt.
No, I didn't. I usually catch myself.
You know,
Sometimes you have something in your hands.
I watch a lot of those TV shows where they drop people in the middle of nowhere and they have to survive on, you know, either Alone or Naked and Afraid or whatever. I watch those shows. Never once have I seen them just grab a bunch of grass and put it in a bowl and start eating it. So I don't
That's
think
called a salad.
it's very edible.
Did you know?
The nutritional value.
Some aloe vera is edible. Some tree barks are edible.
Dirt.
I thought you can't eat trees at all.
Trees? It's part of a pine tree you can eat if you're desperate. You can eat part of a pine
Did
tree.
it make me
Alone
angry?
for your stomach.
It will.
Wheatgrass
But
is a source
some
of
people eat
potassium.
it to survive and live. So, and it's like the strands in the very middle of a pine tree, the softest part. I saw some eat them, but of course they got sick and kicked off the show. So, maybe not. But there is, if you do it right, I think you can boil it and get it soft so you can eat it. There are certain types of moss you can eat. Reindeer moss is edible, only because I watch this Alone show and watch all this crazy stuff. Yeah.
Did you know that when the Jewish people were in them camp thingies, that they ate dirt?
It doesn't surprise me.
Like actually, they ate
But
dirt.
did you see how those people ended up so skinny? I think, you know, their minds were not working right anymore after they'd been abused that long and not fed. they were probably eating whatever they could put their hands on because it was either that or, and their bodies wanted to die, but they were fed just enough to barely keep them alive. So what a horrible instance. And so what I tell myself about all that is just when I think I'm having a bad day, there's somebody in this world having a way worse day than any of us right now. Or think about the 6 million Jewish people that were killed in World War II. All of a sudden my day doesn't seem so bad that I'm not eating dirt and weighing 62 pounds and a human walking skeleton. So
Did you
I'm
know?
glad for that.
Did you know that apparently, like, if like your body goes into like starvation mode and you eat like some natural food, your body just goes into shock.
Yeah, it's not ready for it. I've heard people doing that too that were on those shows for a while. They have to gradually start feeding them, and sometimes they have to start with IV.
Yeah, the soldiers would like go over there and like try to give them like candy and stuff, and they'd just die.
Yeah, they would die because their bodies weren't used to that. They have to start them with like little bits of water and a tiny bit of bread, gradually get them back up.
Yeah.
Bad situation. Just kind of, we can't ever get rid of those things though, because if you start erasing things from history like the concentration camps, if you erase your history, you're doomed to repeat it. Okay,
Right.
next stem, here we go, we only have 2 to go. Modified stem, okay? So, these are modified stems, your bulbs, lots of flowers or bulbs, iris and those kind of things. I'm not sure what a corm is. You'll have to write it down. I apologize. Mrs. Miller will know. I'm not going to try and tell you something I don't know. Rhizomes, runners. Runners look to me like they might be kind of viney, where an offshoot comes off of it, then another one explodes off of it, then another one explodes off of it. Those are, and then I think you can plant those if you do it right too. So one just runs into another one. They kind of keep blooming that way. And then this must be a tuber, and you know what a tuber looks like to me? Looks like a tater.
Tater tot?
It looks like a potato. Well, it would eventually be a tater tot, but for now it's a potato. Potato. I just knew a little kid that called them potatoes one time. I thought that was funny.
Potato.
Potato. You say potato, I say potato. Nobody says potato. You say tomato, I say tomato. Nobody says tomato.
Petito.
Adora girls.
Austin says petito.
Petito.
And if that's your way, I'm not gonna mess with you. All right. Did everybody get enough off of that one?
Yeah.
Last one.
We'll be done, boy.
Woody stems. Unfortunately, there's no Buzz Lightyear stems. They're just woody stems.
God.
And these are the easy ones. Physical support as a result of rigid cell walls. Trees.
Who's our elder
That's pretty much it. Trees. There are some other things. Once again, Mrs. Miller will tell you more about those. But for now, woody stems is about all you need.
Wait, are we done?
We got 10
Well,
minutes
I have a
left.
couple. Let me check my list. I know you have 2 other little things. I'm gonna hand out your stem
We almost get
packet.
into 30
Give
minutes.
her my snack.
You get a packet today. Si, senor.
Hey, no college roller style.
And when I hand this to you, name on the paper. Birthday.
College
Oh my
never
gosh,
stopped.
do you know that like Gremlins, like
Kendall, how does
CBS?
Toy Story 4 end?
I was watching that yesterday.
Don't tell him. Don't tell him.
I haven't watched that one.
Oh.
That's it. I was watching it
Well, the ending.
Yeah,
It's instead of car, it takes place in a carnival, kinda.
But he like killed
Well,
big
the ending makes
Why you do it?
Okay.
Kinda mad, but kinda sad, but still, you know what that's all about? Helping friends out and going back and getting your friends to
Then you're making
you
it
forgot.
hard. Then you make it hard.
Cause the whole thing is, you got a friend in me.
He might be a little bit
You
smart.
got that one, don't you? Name on the paper.
Wang gang, wang gang.
Do you have a fantasy team?
Like 10-inch wang.
I don't know.
Oh,
My son is totally into that.
yeah. Devontae Adams scored me 40 points.
He has a good game.
I don't like
Is
this
that
thing.
the Ravens quarterback?
Oh, this is the Green Bay Packers wide receiver.
Oh, yeah, he has a good game. Well, Aaron Rodgers, I really think, he's another one that's really old too, by the way. He's up there. He's not as old as Breeze, but he's been around almost as long. And Brady.
My favorite team.
Was it? So and they won yesterday.
You're a bandwagon?
He's probably been on that team for a long time. Because now's not a good time to jump on the Patriot bandwagon because the dynasty's kind of over now.
Yeah, it's a
Brady's
new era.
gone.
It's a new era. We got Cannon.
Dang it.
But Cam,
He plays good yesterday.
well, see, me being a Saints fan, he was in my division for a very long time, so I got tired of it. Because,
Yeah, they ripped his chain off.
Petito.
oh, no, they didn't. Oh,
The
my.
Dolphins played.
Jesus.
Well, Dolphins, look at teams like Dolphins and Lions and Browns have been so bad for so long. Wouldn't you be frustrated too? If you had a team. Browns have been around since the beginning of the NFL and they never even made it to playoffs.
Dolphins are the only team on the team.
Yeah.
We almost went 16-0.
I
Won the Super Bowl.
know.
Eli Manning.
I know it. That was so darn close.
Ow.
I hate Eli Manning.
That hurt.
Okay, last things in this class. You guys doing fine. I handed that out. Let me tell you what you're supposed to do with it. You didn't like Eli Manning.
I like it.
You don't hear people say that very often. Okay, so you're just gonna kind of look at this a little bit today. She wants you to start thinking about putting together a project that will showcase the growth of a plant similar to the fast plants that are grown in the classroom. And lastly, part 3 was we are watering plants, one person at a time to collect data on germination of fast plants, no thinning plants. Has anybody still want to collect data on germination of fast plants in the back room?
Me.
Okay, you may do that. You may do that now. Yes, just you.
Oh, I wanted to do that as well.
Fine. Then you'll be next. Then after you. Okay, you'll be third on that list. Just one at a time is all I ask. So that's all I have today. Make sure you get your name on that paper so you don't lose that one I just gave you. Name on the paper for a second. Good. Name on the paper. Good man. Good job. Good job. Just check your paper. You got names on the paper. Nice job. What's that name? He's easily distracted. And I don't know, as Mrs. Miller mentioned, there always seems to be a group of boys in every class in this general area that's easy distracted. You're not part of that group.
She yelled at me at Kendall.
Mrs. Miller had.
Yeah, we were like doing this, like faking. She was like, sit down now.
Well, that, honestly, that's not her mad then. You haven't seen her mad
I
yet.
get my hands on there.
Because if she's just saying sit down now, you're not in trouble yet. Heed the warning though, because she does get mad sometimes, yes.
We accidentally dropped the plan. She was.
But if you don't give her a reason to get mad, she won't. Okay,
Oh,
you guys did really well. For the remainder of class, just check your stuff, do other things, make good choices, and that's all I've got for you today. Is everybody done with the screen?
Yeah.
I'm gonna shut her down, shut her up. There we go.
I can't even draw over it.
Is this the last class? Is this, or?
Mrs. Miller has? She's got one more after yours.
I'll stick my finger in my plate.
Well, that's okay. That's how you test the moisture level, right?
Like the cut, G.
Just don't kill it.
How is he?
I'm gonna tell my mom.
I'll use my fingers.
Yeah, right. That's how you're supposed to do it.
You know, I'm actually working with gangster.
Is that with an R or an A?
A.
Gangsta, right? Okay. I.
I'm a real good one.
Quan Chi Gang.
Like the cut, gangster.
Did you see the video that fast made us watch?
Yeah.
That was funny.
I walked past him in the
Touching
hallway.
each other's heads.
I saw, you know how he's like, oh, don't be high five people touching, keep your hands to yourself. Everyone's competing, I'm at the gym. I was like, what up, James Flora?
And our class kept going on like a pitch.
Forrest?
We're gonna test out
Why do you
what
laugh
the
at the clock?
world
Like a big clock?
How many times have you ever married?
Name on Papa.
You
Rock on.
only have 2 points in total? I have 7.
I have two tall.
catch all you is also
How many
patent.
points did you say you
Now
have?
I'm showing this chat because it was first patented by Lester Ness of Granger, Indiana
Well, I heard
on
something
December
different.
8th,
Frick bait!
1967. And then the first model that trap had a round trigger, but later it was designed to look like this. This is the modern
No, I
snap.
don't.
It's one of the
I have
most common
literally like
mouse
2
trap
plants in
designs
every
out there.
single one.
Victor has one they call the
Dude, that
Power
was
There's been a
Square.
lot.
Can't really say that word. There's the 4
first time.
5 different
They didn't believe me that I'm playing gorilla. I was just rolling.
They can. Are you feeding them some sort of nutrients or food?
Yeah, I put a bunch of fertilizer in
Edible
there.
the size of pupate.
Yeah, like
Hard
6
shell.
Some people are very good at spreading fertilizer. Some are better at it than
Really
others.
important.
Yeah, you
We have to
gotta
catch
know.
the mice
It's a
when they
skill,
come
it's
in
a
our
gift.
home.
So further than
Because
Skills with a Z.
parasites.
Okay.
2 of the mice we caught were
I
hosts.
was in the top.
One had a great big botfly maggot living under its flesh. This was feeding, growing bigger. Soon it will metamorphosize a pupate, form a hard shell similar to a
Hey, yes, I
cocoon.
did.
Then a fly will emerge. And also ticks. This is really scary. Ticks carry Lyme disease. Look at how woolly and gorgeous this is. The mice could enter your house, then take the Lyme off, and look for a home to start going after you. I don't want these anywhere in my house, near my children, my family. Lyme disease, botfly parasites, no way. On top of these, mice and rats have fleas, skin disease, hantavirus, Lyme disease, all scary stuff. The mice may be cute, but they're really dangerous. Well, I don't want the 3 mice we caught to go to waste, so I'm gonna go set them up in the backyard with motion cameras, see what comes along, and enjoy the mouse snack provided by the gorilla traps.
Yeah, but I can play with this stuff.
I have had many girlfriends. What?
I like doing that.
Gorilla traps.
Why make me hung out? Because when you
She
know,
don't
go
know
back
who
there
I
and then
dated.
they ended up dating.
She might know.
So I don't know. Pay attention.
We gotta go.
Quite frankly,
Go faster than nerves. Because you're getting on your back. Yeah, there's you get you a tissue to take under
Me and
way.
Khalifa was my best.
Riley read it.
Mia Khalifa. Big Josh.
I'm looking for one.
I made a video with her.
Here, just for now, take this.
I saw that W.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna close all your stuff up because the bell's gonna ring in less than 10 minutes, okay? But we'll leave it here. You just go get go to the nurse if you have to, and maybe rinse some cold water in your sleeve there to get some of the blood out of there, okay? Good luck.
Brr.
All of the above. So, why are you not doing work right now? You're not finished. You need this whole thick pack. You do.
I can't as hard as work as
Can't always hold this.
Oh, big bully.
What'd she do to key in here?
No, it was Kendall. Kendall was just trying to see what was wrong with him. She just jammed his finger in there.
You just take that as a life lesson. Danny girl.
Why do they always hurt us?
You know, I think you're gonna be asking yourself that for a long time. There's no answer for that, by the way. That's an unanswerable question. I believe. They must find some pleasure in it.
Yes, yeah, I know.
When we confront about it,
Fat.
it's not cool.
Fat
You know what you're
stupid.
The gun a bit, show you 95% of the bedding you'll need to well.
And also, here's another thing. If you're ever married to a girlfriend and they say, how do I look in this dress? No matter what you say, no matter what you wanna say, no matter how you want to tell the truth,
Yeah,
say,
in the.
I love you more than ever. And that's all you gotta say, you know? You don't have to say anything. Oh, do you like my new haircut? Wow.
Yeah, but when I say that, I've taken the Starbucks. I don't wanna drive.
He was
Well,
14.
it's better than losing out on the relationship than being mad, yeah.
So much money.
Starbucks is
I was literally just telling you
Yeah, when you get a drive.
about the cake that
I don't even drink
Yeah.
coffee. All I know is drink $6.
I don't get any coffee. I just make it all
So-
chocolate. And it costs like
I'm sending you the video of the video of them.
Yeah.
That place is making a killing. And it's the closest Starbucks like Council Bluffs.
Yeah, it's Council Bluffs. It's by Dick's Sports.
Oh, is there one right there? Oh, yeah. Yes, yeah, I've never been to one. I know it's coffee, but I don't like coffee.
And the drive-thru is like always, maybe at least 10 cars.
My wife used to do that, but then she bought a Keurig.
The answer I found is Red off
But I love the
sex.
smell of it. I think it smells great.
Yeah.
And so she's got coffee going in the morning. That way she gets up Friday because she has to be in Omaha and I don't have to be here. So she wakes up at 5. We get that coffee brewing in the house. We got some all going on.
I wake up at 6 every day.
Wow. I try to wake up at 6. You only need 6 hours of sleep.
Yeah, mine says 8 hours.
Wow. I used to need 6 hours of sleep.
TIG welding, sir?
Yeah.
TIG welding.
I'm up to 7 hours now.
Hey, what's TIG? That's right.
Adolf Hitler.
What?
You got about 5 minutes of your class. 5 minutes.
Cody, you want to be in a video?
No, I don't want to be in a video.
I'm joking. Josh. Oh crap, mom. My mom's talking.
Dude, it doesn't even have a.
Back then, people weren't the line going not.
Lights are coming on. You ready?
Oh.
There's about 5 minutes of this class left, okay? You know, as the fall gets here, it gets drier. I have problems. We're still carrying that camo can around.
Yeah, I finished it.
Crazy as a pet raccoon.
Well, New Mexico, that's where Breaking Bad took place.
Last play of the game. This is the snap.
Was there a bobble?
Kicks the field goal. Not good. It sucks. JD
He
kicking.
needed 50 yards and he got 3 on that. Watch this.
It's blocked. It's blocked.
Ooh, it was
See how
outside. I would have been outside.
Hey, I'm the Bears kicker.
Oh, you're a Bears kicker.
Yeah, I hear you.
Hey, the Seahawks on a bad kick.
Our kicker missed. We will land. Kicker
Played
is
the
minus
Vikings
25
one
years.
time.
No, but the Titans are stacked. Stephen goes down. I love calling Chiefs fans.
So,
Seahawks
there are a
played
lot of them. And Royals fans that way too.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes owns at least 80% of the Royals. Yeah, that's on it.
That's pretty impressive. He should buy the Hy-Vee at the same time. If he has it already. He has $503 million. And he won a Super Bowl, guess what? He makes a new rule. But you know his first couple of years when he first got there,
Wait, do you agree with me? Water and this
So they literally got fucking scalpel players. Bro,
college ball.
don't do that.
only water.
Literally got scalpels.
Hey, bro, let's play some volleyball.
No.
Just volleyball. Shoot it, bro. I'm gonna spot it.
I remember, I think it was 8th grade. I kicked the ball and it went straight in the face and over glasses. It was like,
away from each other, especially in thin parts.
she was at the goal and I was like,
Place to look for practice materials, your local fab.
30, 40 yards away.
You've got a
Fucking no face.
Get back in here, what are you doing? You're just gonna leave us like that? Come on, get in.
Vibing.
Come on, get in here.
I'm just vibing, bro.
Get in, Austin.
Oh, the racist guys.
Yo, is he?
I'm gonna head out.
Boys, horseplay leads to tears.
My bag laid me down in the front.
Nine-sized water torch with the number 7 lead, and it looks like an 8-inch tungsten, probably 2% lead. Strong enough to point to bother putting a ball in the end of the horn.
I'm out of here.
Have to worry about those details, but if you like, my point usually rolls itself over fast enough on its own. I do, however, not any very sharp points off at the grinder if I know I'll be welding with high amperage. Sharp points at high amperage will auto-eject off the tip of your tungsten and embed themselves in your weld puddle, which will inevitably lead to a failure of something else. And you may
over here.
Actually, just the way I left the machine last time I used it. If you don't have exactly this stuff, and you're about to ask if a standard 17 air-cooled torch with a switch would work, the answer is no.
Whoa. Give me.
Okay, big picture. This is an HTP 221. No lie, it says so right there. If it looks crooked, don't worry, just the camera angle. The welder is doing great. 10 out of 10 would buy again. If you don't have this welder, my condolences, but don't sweat it. The layout and settings are more or less about the same on all of these models.
Hey, what's
Austin, you're back! Oh! Oh, fuck. Yo, G!
Hi, Austin.
Yo. Good G, Quan Chi gang. What's she?
I actually don't know.
One of my blood masks. Blood mask, okay, I'm right here. Which one's the other?
Macromolecules, because it'll be a lot about like.
Are you trying to get in the room? No, you're right.
Frick, wrong there. Oh, it's that guy. I forgot his name. Who cares?
Just takes it out of the lunch. No, I'll figure it out.
Oh, yeah. Why is everyone sad? I can't wait till
Duluth. Duluth.
Hi, Austin.
What the frick, bro?
What's up, man?
Yo, what's good, G? Yo, what's good? Yo, come on, bro. Come on. Aight. Yo, what's good?
Back in the house.
Just gotta grab your nut. Yo, what's good? What's good?
Go to Talon High. Talon's in this class.
Yo, what's good, Talon?
What are you doing in here?
I work here. Now.
What's up, Austin? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I'm still wearing it. Fucking say the word. I'm a basic fucking mother. I'll fucking mother ring your own fucking face.
Wow.
I don't make your father watch. And your brother too. Yeah.
You're right here. And you left this in this country.
Yo, what? Oh. Hey, Austin. Yo. F. Alright, whose money is it? Oh, thanks for the quota.
Why is there so many coffees?
What is it? Tails. I pick tails. What do you pick? You pick heads. Tails. Heads.
Smack me.
Oh, you are. Okay, it looks like you're like sitting right there, but you can't. Okay.
Tails.
Oh,
Tails. Heads. Heads. Yo, what's good, Tayden? Yo, where you been, huh? Yo, I heard some stuff, bro.
I like your cut, G.
Yo, what's good, gang? Good blood gang. Good blood gang.
Good morning.
No, it's me on the court already. I don't know. Not 50. 45.
Yo, so what are we gonna be making?
Let's go.
They're playing the coin game. Oh, that's smart.
Call me extra. Extra terrestrial. I'm really liking the longer one probably. Like, maybe like Thursday, Friday. Probably Wednesday though. Bing bong. Yo, Evan! Oh, bro! Yeah. What do you expect them to be cold? Wait, hold on.
Try again. That was more of like a smash. That was more of a smash than a slap.
So hard for me. Ow, bro. That like actually hurt my hand.
That was more of a smack than a
It feels like my veins are just like popping. Oh, it's like they're getting all hot.
I watch her play so badly. I just keep watching her online. Next Tuesday, and next Friday and Saturday. I'm like knocking on everything.
Oh, I know. I didn't see it.
What do you get?
Cleaning it out.
Come on, man.
I need you to open up your Africa digital notebook. And Austin, I'm going to get you on Google Classroom. Or you've already got one, right? You've been doing it with Mr. Curtis, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm gonna add you to my Google Classroom.
Right.
And open up Plan Book so you can see what it is we're doing. Girls.
Yeah, cheese girl.
Zip it. Oh, but it's pretty much you.
Oh. Let's get roasted.
All right, I just invited you, Austin.
Alright, I'm gonna be like, yo.
Oh, I know.
Boogie. It's getting boogie.
She had like 25
F,
girls that night.
F, 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 F. Can I get a fat F in the chat? Can I get a fat F in the chat, boys? You want a fat F in the chat?
Oh, look at that. I'm always like her and I'm pretty good friends with her mom, but John is not. No, she's very like,
Extra, extra terrestrial.
she's like, I don't.
You should see what she did to Jenna. There's nothing I love to eat more than ground on my Oh, that's the best.
I'm big thick chungus. My name is Big Chungus.
You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know.
You won't understand. You're a boy.
All right, we are on. Open it up. So, plan book. So, we're going to review the terms DNA, chromosome, gene, allele, genotype, heterozygous, and homozygous. You're going to finish up quiet. Pages 29 to 30, or 29 through 30, finding out the parents of the cubs. There's a form that we're going to attach to your notebook, and then you're going to take the form, you're going to do the form, just to check for understanding. And then you're going to complete the vocab on slide 32. Okay? I don't know what this attachment is. Let's see what this attachment is. Anything? Apparently it's nothing. Okay, so let's go to did I close it? Must have closed it. So I believe we're on slide 28. Okay, so yesterday, or when we talk about this, let's go back to, what did we say karyotype was?
The picture of the chromosome.
Okay, karyotype is a picture of chromosomes, and we get that by taking cells from the person, right? We can do cheek cells, we can do blood cells, we can do skin cells, like from an amniocentesis. And what you do is, it's a little bit more complicated than just taking a picture. You have to release them from the cell membrane and the nuclear membrane. You have to stain them. And then once they are kind of scattered on your microscope, you take a picture of them. You cut each one out individually, and then you start kind of playing a matching game, right? We go from longest to shortest. They know by banding patterns and centromere positions, like which ones go together. This one, you can't see the bands as well as you could on like patient A, B, and C. Those were a lot easier to see the bands and kind of know what we're talking about. What can we tell from a karyotype? We can tell the sex of a baby. Okay, we can find out if it's a boy or a girl, and what are we looking at? We're looking at the sex chromosomes. The sex chromosomes are always going to be the last pair. Now, all species will have a unique number of chromosomes. We have 46, right? Lions have 38. There are some plants that have like 96. Wow. So the number of chromosomes doesn't really tell you like how advanced something is. It's just the number of chromosomes that they have. Okay, and that's why you can't have species mating and having babies, because the number of chromosomes don't match up. Okay, that's one of them. So if you're a boy, what sex chromosomes do you have? X and Y. And if you're a girl, XX. Now it's the presence or absence of the Y that determines sex. If you have a Y, you're going to be a male. If you don't have one, you're going to be a female.
What makes a species have more chromosomes and less chromosomes?
It's just how they were made. We don't know, but like I said, it's not like the most complex organisms will have the most chromosomes, because we know we're a lot more complex than corn, and I think corn has like 98. Can you take your hat off, please?
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I just now noticed it. But here's one thing I want to kind of mention to you. Girls, did you know that you have the genes for facial hair and the lower voice?
Yes.
Did you know that?
Yep. Nope.
Boys, did you know that you have the genes for breast development and a higher voice and more curvy figure?
Yeah, it's because.
Well, think about it, guys. Everything, all of your genes come from your parents, right? So if you're a girl, you still have to get those genes from both parents. You're getting half your chromosomes from mom, half your chromosomes from dad. Here's the thing. If you're a boy, the female characteristics don't get turned on. Like that switch does not flip. If you're a girl, the boy genes don't get activated. What do you think it is that activates those chromosomes or those genes? What are those? What is testosterone? Hormones. Okay? If you're a Y, if you're a boy, you have a Y chromosome. And that Y chromosome tells your body to make male hormones. And those male hormones will turn on the genes to produce testes and a penis as you're developing. It will tell you when you reach puberty to start making facial hair for your voice to deepen. It'll give you a boxier figure. Yep.
So like there is XX and there's XY. Is there a YY?
No, you can't. If you think about how much bigger the X is, the X chromosome has too much information. You can't live without it.
Whoa.
So could you have a YY? Yes, but it wouldn't make it past the first probably couple days of like cell division before it just died. Because there's too much information on the X chromosome for an individual to be able to live without it.
So would you even know you're pregnant then?
A lot of these cases, a lot of times the woman will miscarry and just think that she's just a few days late.
So
Like she just thinks it's a late period, not realizing she was actually pregnant and then something happened.
So would it be like?
So for girls, if you don't have the Y chromosome, your body automatically starts to make female hormones, and that in turn produces ovaries in the fetus. It tells your voice to be higher. It gives you more of a curvy figure, and it produces breasts. So men have more like hair. They're just hairier than women. They've got more leg hair. They've got more arm hair. That's all male hormones. So what happens if a guy starts to take girl hormones or a girl starts to take male hormones? That turns on those genes that were already there. It will. It will turn on the genes that were already there, and so a girl will start to produce a beard or produce facial hair. Her voice will change. All of those things that you would normally associate with a boy. Now she's not going to grow a penis because we're way past that. That was, the first 6 months of being in the womb. But it does turn on those hormones, and they will start to produce those traits. So what's a chromosome then? If we were to define a chromosome, what's that? Yeah, I mean, basically, this is a chromosome, right? And a chromosome is what carries genes. Okay, now we move on to the genes. Genes are things that code for a specific trait. Now, we're going to learn that a gene actually codes for a protein, and that protein is in charge of that trait. So if you have red hair, you make a different protein than somebody who has blonde hair. If you have blonde hair, you make a protein that's different than somebody who has brown hair. And so actually these genes are like a recipe for making a specific protein, which then we see as a trait. Okay? Now what are alleles?
It's like the variation of the gene.
Right, so if we say that there's a gene for eye color, the alleles for that would be blue, green, and brown, right?
Hazel then.
That's just kind of it's not, a lot of human traits aren't like just black and white, like either one or the other. If we're talking about blood type, the gene for blood type, the alleles are A, B, and O. And so when we talk about alleles, that's just different versions of the same trait. And then, so what are autosomes? We've already talked about sex chromosomes. Those are the things that determine sex. What's an autosome?
The rest of them.
The rest of them. Now, when we talked about like breast development and all that kind of stuff, that stuff's all just on the autosomes. It's just hibernating. I mean, it's not activated. But those are on the autosomes. So autosomes are everything else except for the sex chromosomes. All right, so we talked about all of that. So when we look at data set 5, like FCA26, that is a gene. Okay, I don't know what it's a gene for, but what alleles does FCA26 have? A, B, and C. FCA, I don't know, is that 96? Have alleles D, E, F, G, and H. It has 5 different alleles. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. All right, so what you are supposed to do is open it up to this, and you're going to be filling it in. So you're going to want it not in the present mode. And I'm going to go back, but what you're going to do is fill in what does mom have. I think mom has AB. This, or yes. 628 has AB, and then 630 has BB, and 687 has CC, I believe. So you're going to fill all that out. So go ahead and fill that out. You don't have to do mom is and dad must have and all this kind of stuff yet. We're going to do that together. So just go ahead and fill out both of these, just this part of it. And I'm going to go back to that table to make it easier for you. Okay? So just fill in what the females have. And actually it's going to be the same, right? Once you have the females down, it's going to be the same for 12, 11, 12, 13, and 14.
Genori.
Already done. All 5?
Yes.
You was that?
Are you lying?
No, I did it the other day. That's how we were supposed to. So we're taking off of this thing? Yeah. Read that.
F. Terrestrial. Extra. Terrestrial.
You're trying to zoom in.
Well, you said you can't zoom in.
Bruh.
Okay, I'm zoomed in.
Boop. Call me extra, extra, extra. Call me extra, extra, extra.
So what did we say? A, B, M, N, S, S, D, D. Guys, am I doing this right? Just from memory? Maybe.
What?
E, B. I don't know. I can't see it. Well, I'm saying it out loud.
Bruh.
M, N, S, U. No, second one. Oh, yeah. And then E, H.
Equal pool. I'm the
And then
best.
C, C, M, N, T, U, and D, G. Okay. Pretty impressive, huh? I know. All right. Ooh, that says MB. That should be MN. Obviously, I couldn't read what I was typing. Obviously not impressive. Thanks, Carly.
iCarly.
Good job, Carly.
5, 4.
A, B. This one.
Everybody has it.
Okay, so here's what you're going to be putting in. Okay? If the baby is AB and mom first of all, let's find out who the mom is. Okay? So we know that it can't be 687 because she's got a CC. We can just go ahead and cross these out, right?
Pretty cryptic.
So now we're only focusing on these. Could both of them be mom? Yep. Could both of them be mom? That should be MN. Could both of them be mom? Yep. What about here? No. This one, 630 Lulu, cannot be mom because she's got an E and H, right? So that means that right here, mom is going to be 628. So you write in 628. Where's your computer? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Okay, I couldn't see it, so I'm looking on that. So I wrote it down and she was going to copy it off mine when I had my notes.
All right, so
That's cheating.
we're looking at 628 and the cub. So if the cub is AB and mom is AB, what does dad have to have? An A or AB, correct? Could have either one. If mom is MN and the baby is MN, is that right? MN? Yeah.
Just.
Shut it. Shut it down. What could dad do? M or N. Okay? If mom is SS and the baby is SU, what does dad have to have? A U. Because mom gave the cub the S, so the U has to come from dad. So we would put a U here. And then if the baby is D and mom is D, this has to be a D. So then you use this, the AB, MN, U, and D to look at the boys.
Me and the
Let's look at the
boys.
boys. We're looking for a boy that has an A or a B. So I can cross out this guy, right? 657 is crossed out. The rest of them either have an A or a B or both. Then I'm looking for an M or an N. All of them fit, correct? They all have at least an M or an N. Then I'm looking for a U, correct? Which ones can I cross out? All of them except for 668. Now does 668 also have a D? Yep.
Yes.
So who's dad?
668.
668. So now when you go back, right here, you would say dad is 668. Okay? So I'm going to give you about 3 minutes. What I want to see from you is dad must have, because you've already got this done, right? Yeah. Go ahead and put mom and what dad must have. 3 minutes.
No, go.
Okay, once you have the must-have, go ahead and write down or figure out who the dad must be, just for those two on that same page. Holly, I'm gonna see your mom tonight.
What are you talking? I'm explaining to me.
'Cause I know.
I
know your mom.
his story.
Don't listen.
Why not? I'm not doing anything. I can't start it.
Oh, she lying.
They will not care. I tell them that I.
Ooh, ah.
And I tell them that I annoy you all the time. And they laugh. Because I do the same thing to them.
Bruh, true. F. You was at the club playing pool ball. You was at
How we doing? Yes.
It won't let me type anything again.
Just put it on your paper.
Okay.
yeah.
Again, I guarantee you, you're gonna have to do something just like this for the test.
Will it be easier, like?
Now, I'm telling you right now, I promise you that even if the rest of the test is online,
Paper?
which I don't think it will be, you'll at least have this part on a test, and then you can just put it, you can enter it. I would never want to do that online.
Yuck.
Well, online stuff never works. It's kind of This thing never works.
Yeah.
Yes! I'm literally on the roster right now. No.
Tried to make it February. Wouldn't that be nice? You tried to make it February? Yeah, I almost wrote 214. Hope you liked what you got for Christmas.
What?
Alright, so here's what you should have.
It's supposed to be real cold anyway, so.
For mom, who is mom for Cub 710? 628, right? Because we have to cross out 687 because of the CC, and we cross out 630 because of the EH. Okay? So you would write 638, or 628, sorry. 628, and then what must dad have? What does dad have to have for FCA 26? A or B? No, look at the baby.
You're 8.
No, look at the baby. The baby is MM.
Oh.
So had to have gotten an M from mom, had to have gotten an M from dad. So we're gonna say M. Has to get an S, has to get a D, correct? So in the first one, you would say AB, then M, then S, then D. So if we come back here and we're looking at the males, has to be an A or a B, then M, then S, then D. Looks like 668 has to be the parent. Does everybody agree? Okay.
Wow, that's really popular now.
Is that, oh yeah, it is. Well, if you're the only male. If you're the only guy in town, it's pretty easy.
Yo, that'd be
Alright, so looking at the bottom one, mom is 630. This is actually Lulu's cub, the only one that's Lulu's cub. If the cub is BB and Lulu is BB, the cub had to have gotten a B from dad, had to have gotten an O from dad, had to have gotten a T from dad, and had to have gotten an E or an H. Do you want me to go up there and show that, or are you like this totally makes sense? Makes sense? Okay.
It does not make
So
sense.
if we're saying that 630 is mom, then you know how we did that, right? So if the baby is BB, I can go ahead and cross out 687. M and O is fine, S and T is fine, but when I get here, it can't be this one because it's got a DD. So that's how we figured out that 630 was a parent. So now I'm looking at this line and the baby's line. Baby has BB, which means it got a B from mom, has to have a B from dad. Allie. Okay?
Oh, up there?
Yeah. Then, the baby has an M and an O. The only thing it could have gotten from mom is the M, so that means the O had to come from dad. S came from mom, which means the T came from dad, because Lulu doesn't have a T yet. And then E and H could have gotten either one from Lulu, so we would say E and H. So if we go to BOT, E and H. So the male has to have a B, so I can cross out 631 and 657 right away. Has to have an O, all of these have an O. Has to have a T, I can cross out this one, right? So now I'm only looking at 695 and 633, and I'm looking for an E or H. This one doesn't have one, so I'm looking at 633.
Oh.
And again, if you could like make little marks and cross them out and then erase it every time, it would be so much easier.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay? Because it gets hard when I'm trying to like cover up numbers and yeah. All right, so go ahead and do the next page. I would just click and drag or click on these 2, 4, 6, 12 boxes and then paste them into the next page. Okay, but it's the same thing still. Go ahead and do that and then figure out mom and dad.
More. Extra. Hide and kicked.
Hey, how we doing? Okay, so let's go through this one. So we can narrow it down to 687 very quickly because baby has CC and 687 is the only one with CC. Now you always want to just double check to make sure everything else fits, but yep, she has an M, and a U, and a G. So that means dad has to have a C, has to have an O, has to have a T, and has to have an E. And if you look at all the boys, all the males, the only one that has all four, or those four in combination would be 633. And then Cub 713, 628 is the only possible, just because of the different combinations. 687 is out right away because of the CC, and then 630 is out at the end because of the EH. That means dad has to have a B, an O, an S, and an F. And if you do that, 631 is the only possible male father. Okay? Again, if you're having problems with this or if you need some help, please see me. Because like I said, I guarantee you're gonna have to do this on the test. Okay? Alright, moving on? Alright. So what I want you to do now is I want you to go to Google Classroom and I want you to go to the classwork, and there is a Lulu final well actually it's go to this one, not that one. This one where it says CU. I know I'm having problems. CU 91420. Lulu the Lioness final report. It's basically just a who do you think the parents are, why do you think that, blah blah blah. Open that up. Copy the URL. Then go back to here.
Yeah.
And I want you to put it on this page. I just did it here. I just pasted, I control V, pasted that, and then go ahead and take that form. Then when you're done, I want you should already have most of these. You should already have karyotype, allele, gene, and chromosome. So go ahead and define those. The one you need to worry about are genotype, homozygous, and heterozygous. You need to define those as well. The other 4 we've already done. You should be able to just write them in, type them in. Okay? Take the form. First of all, copy and paste it into the notebook. If you're having problems with that, let me know. Take the form very quickly, and then work on those vocab words. What? That didn't even make sense. Hey, stop talking. I can guarantee we're going to have a new seating chart when I come back on Wednesday.
Really? I love
Yep. Yes, that's why I said copy and paste it.
Asking how to do it. That's what. Yeah, how are we
All C.
Come on, baby, come. Please.
You said this one, right?
Yep. Just put it in there. And do that kind of stuff.
And she's gonna do like 7.
Did you get it? I don't know what this means. Yep. What?
Important in determining parentage.
What was most important? We didn't figure it out who the parents were. What piece of information that we've been looking at for the last couple days was the most important?
What was the thing we did, the dollar sign for?
Huh?
The thing we just did with the first?
I believe so, yeah.
What you?
Come here, just gotta feed him. Alright, this is the end. This is it. See you in school. Bye bye.